everyone, Hannah here at CCU. I've been having students ask me questions about how to find scholarly journal articles. So I'm going to show you how to do that on this video tutorial. All right, so first thing you want to do is find the CCU library. So you can literally just Google Coastal Carolina University Library. There's good old Kimball. Now, if you want stuff that's specific to sociology and criminal justice, you can go to the research tab. You can go to research guides. Now, if you're in a CRMJ class, this gets a little confusing. You have to go down to sociology, and then CRMJ 100 will come down. And you can see that pretty much all of the classes you might have in sociology, these are essentially all the classes our department is offering right now. They have their own library guide. So if you're in my gender and society class, boom, there's that. And I think the majority of the students watching will want the CRMJ 100 tab, and you can just utilize all these different links. So these are tutorials. How do I find peer-reviewed journals? Just all sorts of questions you might have about the library website you can find here. I highly encourage you to take advantage of these library guides. They're really useful. And Allison, who is the librarian for our department, she spends a lot of time making sure that the stuff that she puts on her library guides are relevant to you all based off of you being a Soc or CrimJ major, or at least a student in one of our classes. If one of your questions can't be answered here, consider filling out this form and asking the library. Librarians are very efficient, and I promise you they will get back to you pretty darn quick. So, with that being said, if you want to just do your own thing and you want to search for something and quickly sort of filter out for scholarly journal articles, you can do that on the library website. And I want to point out that books are perfectly acceptable to use, but we can't always guarantee, even if a book is written by an academic, that it's been peer reviewed. Similarly, if you want to cite statistics, I know a lot of students like to do that in their papers. You might want to cite the FBI or some high-level national data set that's collected by the government. Perfectly acceptable, a really great strategy for sort of proving some of the statistics that you're citing. However, that's not peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles. So just keep that in mind. Another thing I've seen a lot this semester for CRMJ 100 students is students want to write about a specific high-profile crime or criminal, such as a serial killer, and so they'll cite newspaper coverage of that crime or that criminal. Again, that's perfectly fine. If you're writing about a specific crime or a specific criminal, you do need to cite how you learned about what they did or what crime occurred. And that might be through newspapers or something to that effect. But again, while you want to cite that so that you're not plagiarizing, because I know none of you would ever do that, you have to make sure you still have the scholarly citations that are required for the assignment. And so for CRMJ 100 students, you need 2 of those. And then for gender and society students, you actually have further specifications where your journal articles need to be newer. That's a good rule of thumb for any scholarly journal article that you're going to use for a paper. You want it to be more recent usually, because if you use an older journal article, it's very likely that someone else in the field has published newer data, newer ideas on your topic more recently. However, there might be some certain situations where an older article is important. I know from my research on campus sexual assault and Title IX policy, there's an article by Koss and colleagues from 1987 that a lot of people continue to cite because they were the first researchers to really get at this sort of now lay audience understanding of campus sexual assault, which is the statistic that 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 women will experience rape or attempted rape during their time in college. So that's something a lot of people sort of know. in their everyday conversation, and we'll cite that 1987 scholarly journal article by Koss and colleagues because those were the original researchers to have that finding in their large data set. Okay, so if you want to search, just kidding, if you want to search for a specific thing, this gives you everything. If you click on this tab, this is going to narrow down your search to articles. So again, using my example of campus sexual assault and Title IX policy, I'm going to do a search for Title IX policy. Now, this is something that a lot of people have been researching for decades, so you can see that there are hundreds of thousands of articles on this topic. What you want to do is you want to use these sorting and filter options to narrow down your search. Clearly, no one has the time or energy to sort through all of these different articles. So you definitely want to click on this filter, peer-reviewed journals. While most scholarly journal outlets are peer-reviewed, if you click on this filter, it ensures that everything you're now looking at in your search is peer-reviewed scholarly journal article, and you want to apply that. That narrows things down quite a bit, right? But still, 38,000, that's too much to look at. So you might want to start thinking about what type of journals you want to look at. Maybe you're really interested in just stuff in the United States. Title IX policy is, in fact, a policy specifically for public universities in the United States. So you might think about doing that. Starting to narrow things down. Another good rule of thumb, like I mentioned earlier, is to look at more recent publications first. So you might also think about filtering based off of time. But this is basically just how to cite things, and I kind of made a rookie mistake because I was going kind of quickly. I should have put my search for Title IX policy in quotation marks, because stuff with Roman numeral 9 that has nothing to do with Title IX policy came up. But alas, I've digressed. This at least gives you a sense of how to find scholarly journal articles from peer-reviewed journal outlets. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great week, y'all.